Hello and welcome to another selection of the hottest Q&As Reddit has to offer. Serious. If you could learn the honest truth behind any rumor or mystery from the course of human history, what secret would you like to unravel? I'd like to read the history of the world volumes that were destroyed at the library of Asked him some form this when I was a kid. He's been my history teacher throughout life. Oh my god, yes, I'm so curious about that. It's so depressing thinking about how much information was lost in that fire. I remember reading something that talked about the library being badly maintained and many scrolls/books being rotten anyway. It was in disrepair long before it was sacked/burnt/whatever. I like to know about the thousands of years of undocumented human history. 4 Rusty Shakehalford 6.6k points. 4 days ago the one thing that fascinates me is how did wandering affect culture? That is, all our modern culture comes from people with borders. They may not be nation states, but pick any direction and you'll either hit a natural obstacle like a mountain, or land controlled by other people. But there was a time when that wasn't true. For a few thousand years if you didn't like where you were you could just pack up, walk a few kilometers, and be the first person ever there. How did that affect their mindset? Did they have a god of new places? Did they have people who were specialized in scouting out potential places to move to? Who the Isdal woman really was, what she was doing, how she ended up dead in such a remote valley, in Bergen, Norway. No one has been able to identify her in 50 years. What's especially strange about this case is that she had about 8 different aliases which she used all over Europe, and then was found burned alive in the middle of a Norwegian valley. All eyewitness reports from people who crossed paths with her state that she stood out, and always seemed to be on high alert. I personally believe the theory of her being a spy. I'd like to know which people were the pedophiles that were involved with Epstein. The good news is Ghislaine Maxwell, who procured and groomed minors for Epstein and his friends, and was involved in all facets of his disgusting operation, has been arrested. She is expected to rat out all the big names in exchange for a more lenient sentence. I think it's more expected that she's gonna get killed. And then the internet will just meme about it, Jake Mack will make a video about it, and then 2 weeks later everyone goes back to doing their usual quarantine stuff. The identity of the Zodiac Killer, or if the dudes who escaped Alcatraz really survived. Oh, one almost forgot about them. It'd have to go with the Alcatraz escapees. I've always wondered. Kinda hope they made it, sounded like they were decent people who just made a few mistakes. Don't take my word for it, but I live in the town where the Anglin brothers were born. Apparently 2 unknown women, speculated to be the brothers cross-dressing, were at their mother's funeral. Now I wasn't alive at the time, but the person who told me was. The Mary Celeste, I believe that's the name. It was a US merchant ship that was found completely abandoned floating in the ocean in the 1800s. I would also like to find out what happened to another ghost ship that was found with everyone frozen. There was a spilled barrel of alcohol in the ship, the lifeboats were missing, and a rope was trailing behind the ship. What happened is that the alcohol started evaporating, making it hard to breathe, so everyone left their stuff and went out on a lifeboat behind the ship to let it air out. Then the rope snapped and the ship went drifting away from the lifeboat. D.B. Cooper, the hijacker that jumped from the jet plane with all that money, and what happened from then till now? He most likely died. They gave the serial number from all the bills given to him and none have been spent. The only ones found washer up on a river. The weather conditions were so bad and it was St. night, so the chances are that he died. The details of the Bronze Age collapse. We only know very generally what happened. Read 1177 by Eric Klein for details, but precious little specifics, ESP who did what and why. Droughts, famines, revolts, piracy, population movement, trade collapse etc. are all involved. Mycenae, Minoans, Troy, Hittites, Ugarites etc. Every city from Greece to the Levant was burned down and every civ collapsed. Egypt, Assyria and Babylonia didn't collapse but were severely weakened for centuries. Systems collapse. Basically, here's a really complex system that works really well to organize large-scale societies that are all partly dependent on each other, but it's a big Jenga tower. Too much goes wrong too quickly, so too many critical components fail at once. When that happens you can't repair the damaged parts faster than they fall apart, so the whole system collapses in on itself and the region goes to hell in a handbasket. Malaysian Airlines Flight 370. Oh my gosh, you should read the article The Atlantic did last year, link below. It's very long, but so worth the read. It goes over what we know and what the likely scenarios are for what happened. Nothing has ever scared me so much as reading the theory of how it was done. Warning for anyone who clicks the link, there is some seriously scary description of what likely happened on the flight. No idea why, but I'm just so interested in finding Genghis Khan's grave. The brutal extent they went through to keep it secret is truly messed up. I heard an interesting conspiracy theory once. Perhaps Genghis Khan actually had a simple cremation and the legend of his grand burial was used to keep his empire hungry for conquest and glory. Or those in charge pocketed the money for his grand burial and came up with that story after killing all the witnesses. Where are the missing Sodder children? What happened at Dyatlov Pass? And does the ivory-billed woodpecker still exist? Read a few books on the Dyatlov Pass incident. Most likely scenario seems to be a Kármán vortex street. They are super rare, but the conditions in the Dyatlov Pass are perfect for it. It would have created infrasound that would have scared and disoriented the hikers enough to flee the tent. Or it could just be aliens. This seems really interesting. How would a vortex street cause the trauma to their bodies though? What happened to Shelley Miscavige? She just went missing, while the Church of Scientology claims that she's working there. I don't believe it, same people that believe in Xenu and effing soul catchers. She's definitely in the hole. And she may be brainwashed enough to feel that she deserves to be in there. Where is all of the missing art the Nazis looted during World War II? More than likely, what are the hundreds of locations of the art? Piles of ash in collapsed caves probably. That's depressing. If Caligula made his horse consul or if he was just messing with the senators in Rome. On a more serious note. The life of Jesus. And also, if Ptolemy was Alexander's illegitimate half-brother. Because that would mean that Cleopatra would be related to Alexander. Literally every single Unsolved Mysteries episode. That man's face gave me nightmares as a kid. I felt like he had the answers but just wanted to scare me. Robert Stack. His voice is so soothing to me. I was scared by the episodes but adored him. Still do RIP. V Daredizzle 6.4k points. 4 days ago it kills me that I will die without knowing the deep dark crap rich and powerful people, governments, and companies have done. We only hear about what they've gotten caught doing and there has to be so much more. And what about older wealth before there was any insight into this? What did the Rockefellers do abroad on private islands before the Epsteins existed? Also, all the technology that the Gates, Musk, and Bezos crowd get to see deep in the R&D departments, what would have been your answer or question? Leave it in the comments below. Slap that like and subscribe button for more, and check out the link in the video description for even more answers. Peace out, and catch you in the next video.